G'day, how's it going? Yesterday I started on this little project. Now it's only a little project, and I thought to myself, I'm not even going to bother filming it. Like I said, it's just a little project. It's not that exciting. I didn't think anyone would be interested in it. But then I woke up this morning and I thought to myself, well, that's the wrong attitude. Who am I to say if people will be interested in it or not? So what I'm making is just a little corner stand to go inside a cupboard to hold some fry pans. That's basically all it is. And all I did yesterday was I cut up some pieces of ply to 250mm square. I'll show you the ply in a second. It's just packing ply. It's only about 7mm thick. So what I've done there is I've laminated 2 layers together. So I've got 4 shelves there. And underneath there are 2 uprights. So this thing's gonna sit in a corner, and those 2 uprights are gonna be attached at 90 degrees with the shelves fixed inside that 90 degree, and the front corner of those shelves is gonna be cut at a radius. Now the ply I'm using is this stuff here. It's just packing ply that I had lying around, a few sheets of it. Some of it's quite nice. It's only 3 layers, hopefully that's focusing. It's only 3 layers thick and about roughly 7mm. So that's why I laminated 2 layers together to give me about a 14-15mm piece of ply. It's going inside a cupboard, no one's really gonna see it. So I thought it was worth a try. And yeah, so we'll continue on today. I left all the pieces to glue up overnight, and this was my makeshift veneer press for those 2 larger side pieces. It's a good use for this huge slab of merbau. 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 No, it's merbau. Because I have no idea what else to use it for. Timber choice for this project could be offcuts you already have, like I've done here, or buying ply or even solid timber boards from the store. The next step for the shelves was to joint one edge on each board on the jointer, and if you don't have a jointer, you could clean up this edge using a miter saw or a circular saw and a straight edge. Then using that jointed edge against the miter gauge on the table saw, I cleaned up an adjacent edge so that I had a 90-degree corner. If you don't have a table saw, this edge could also be cut using a miter saw or circular saw with a straight edge. I only needed the 2 edges milled because I was going to draw a radius from that corner and then cut to that radius, effectively eliminating the opposite corner of each shelf. To mark out the radius, I broke out my old school compass set from technical drawing class. Who remembers tech drawing at school? I cut the radius out using my small bandsaw, but it could also be cut using a jigsaw. I then just sanded to my line. I then used that first shelf as a template to mark out the other shelves. As is usually the case with most of my builds, I was designing as I went, and I decided to keep the bottom shelf full just to give the stand a little bit more stability. With the other 3 shelves cut and sanded, it was time for a mock-up, and I also decided that it could do with 2 more shelves, which you'll see later in the video. I marked the width of the second side piece and ripped it to size on the table saw. And trimmed the end to the correct height. Again, You could also make these cuts with a circular saw and a straight edge. I finished the shelves with beeswax prior to assembly because it would have been difficult to get into the gap between the shelves once they were fixed in place. Because this rack is going inside a cupboard and not seen for most of the time, I didn't apply any finish to the other parts of the rack. It really wasn't necessary. Time to put this thing together. The rack is all held together with simple butt joints, glued and nailed, and then screws added to each shelf for extra strength. I fixed the shelves to one of the uprights first and then installed the second side panel. This way just made it easier to manage aligning the shelves correctly and minimising any glue mess from trying to line up both sides of the shelves at the same time. Here you can see all the shelves in place now, and I'm gluing up the second side panel to fix it in place, and the rack will be finished. You can see here that I've already drilled screw holes in the panel for each shelf. And that's the rack completed. A simple DIY project that could easily be completed by a beginner with limited tools. And it's not beneath you intermediate and advanced woodworkers either. Mother's Day is just around the corner.